Hi everyone, thanks for starting your week with some farm and ranch news. Attorney General Knudsen joined a coalition of attorneys general petitioning the EPA to implement a rule to create uniform labeling requirements for pesticides across the country. The attorneys general seek to preempt misbranding from states like California that, in some instances, label products with information inconsistent with EPA's findings about a product's health. For example, California's Prop 65 forced manufacturers to label glyphosate as likely carcinogenic, even though EPA found no risk to human health. Well, the BLM is moving forward with the implementation of the Public Lands Rule. The agency has stated its intent to develop a stakeholder advisory committee to inform the development of agency guidance. The BLM also released a set of initial guidance documents that the Montana stock growers have expressed concern and opposition to. The rule places an equal value on non-use of lands, same as multiple uses, and will increase the use of restrictive areas of critical environmental concern designations. MSGA says BLM did not engage in meaningful consultation with stakeholders and failed to identify this as a major rule change. And June U.S. beef exports reached the highest value in almost 2 years. Exports were trending higher in Japan. They were the third largest on record to Taiwan, and shipments to Canada were the largest in a decade. Through the first half of the year, beef export values up 5% to $5.2 billion, despite a 4% drop in volume. Thanks for being with us. Stick around and we'll be back with the markets.
I wanted to put up a fence to protect my tomato plants. So I grabbed this, and then I did this. But instead of yielding a big crop, I hit a utility line and had to pay $1,200 in repairs. I didn't just lose my pride and joy. I could no longer afford the new stovetop I'd been saving up for. Next time, I'm going to make my free call to 811 before I dig.
Learn from Curry and hundreds of others. Call 811 before you dig.
Hey, thanks for joining us back here for the Ag Report. The U.S. Grains Council recently brought a major Mexican brewing company to Montana to meet with stakeholders in the barley industry. Mexico is one of the top beer-producing countries in the world, and the Grains Council says Mexican brewers are increasingly interested in ensuring their products are sustainably produced. Attendees gathered in Bozeman, where they met with MSU researchers, then toured 5 local farms, a maltster, and an elevator. The Grains Council says participants were extremely interested in developing new contacts to source barley, and they were impressed by the quality assurance measures that exist in the U.S. ag industry. Well, finally, cattle futures rallied after the massive sell-off. Solid gains with feeders up $3 to $5, live sales $2 to $3 better. The cash market, though, is down $2 to $5. We saw the live trade $185 to $193 last week, dress $300 to $306. At Billings Live, the cows topped out at $154.5, with the bulk selling $135 to $147, heiferettes from $150 to $174, and a big offering of bulls fetching $155 to $174. In the lamb market at Bowman, 70 and 80 pound lambs sold from $205 to $219, the 90 to 120 pounders $181 up to $208. And the wheat market managed some modest gains to close out last week. Today we'll get a couple of crop reports from USDA, where expectations are for them to forecast a 2 billion bushel wheat crop, up 11% from last year, and world-ending stocks could be lowered on production concerns overseas. Well, that's it for today's report. Thanks for joining us and have a great week.